Hims and Hers stock has been all over the place over the past couple of months, and one of the big things that investors have been worried about or bullish on, depending on how you're looking at the stock, is GLP-1s. And this is the weight loss treatment. Hims and Hers is compounding GLP-1s, so it's not selling a branded product. It's basically using a temporary tool that the FDA has put in place when there's a shortage of a product. Now, this is something that management thinks they'll be able to use for quite a while. Eventually, they may even sell branded products. But this ultimately leads us to an acquisition the company closed on this past week and actually issued shares for that. So a lot of this has led to volatility in the stock. Shares were up nicely this week, but I want to go through what the details are and what we can expect from this acquisition. What sort of new products does it unlock for the company? Because I think at the end of the day, Hims and Hers is basically building a platform. They want customers to be able to go there for their medical needs. And then as they learn more about those customers, they're going to be able to offer more products and actually combine some of those into single treatments, give you the kind of treatments that you want, whether that's a pill or an injection or a gummy in some cases. So that's why I'm bullish on the company. I think it's a really good value, really good growth story. And I like the personalization that they're bringing to these markets, especially after this acquisition. So I'm going to dig into all this today. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. Thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. First, I want to get to the transaction and the stock that was involved, because this was a little bit confusing for investors. Now, all of this happened on September 9th, so keep that in mind. But you might remember a couple of months ago, Hims and Hers said that they had an agreement to buy a 503B facility. I'm going to get to what that means in just a second. But what they did is file this S3 for a shelf registration to sell securities. Common stock, preferred stock, debt securities, warrants, rights, units, all kinds of stuff that they can sell with this shelf registration. What they turned around and did on literally the same day is they issued 976,341 shares of Class A common stock to what they call the selling shareholder. Now, this is a 144 filing. Now, this is actually a different filing, but this is the company that they acquired, which is a subsidiary of Nivigen Pharmaceuticals, not sure if I'm saying that right, Seaview Enterprises, which is also doing business as Metasource RX. That's the company that you want to pay attention to, is at Metasource RX. I'll get to them in just a second. But all this convolution is just basically that this shareholder can now sell shares up to almost 1 million shares of Hims and Hers stock, because that's what they got in this acquisition. A little bit convoluted, but that's the short story. So what is Metasource RX? That is this company right here. They are a 503B facility, or a registered outsourcing facility located in California. So you're going to be able to make different medicines, and as a 503B facility, they can make a little bit more and larger scale batches than you can with a 503A facility. I'm going to get to management, some of management's comments about that in just a second. But you can see that they're licensed to do business in over 20 states. So that fits with what Hims and Hers is trying to do, is distribute to more and more places across the country. And this brings manufacturing supply in-house. So what is the difference between a 503A and a 503B facility? This is from the FDA group. Now, I'm not an expert on pharmaceuticals, so I'm just going to explain based on what they say. The FDA has designated 503A compounding pharmacies as those that compound according to prescriptions specific to particular patients and are required by state boards of pharmacies to comply with UPS and other guidelines. FDA designated 503B compounding pharmacies are those with outsourcing facilities that may manufacture large batches with or without prescription to be sold under healthcare facilities for office use only. 503B facilities also comply with a bunch of other regulations. So the way that Hims and Hers explains it is that basically they're going to be able to increase the number of products that they're going to be able to supply, because the 503B facility has more capability than the 503A facility that they acquired previously does. But they now have both under the Hims and Hers brand. So they're really trying to bring that supply in-house. That's going to help them lower costs and increase margins. I want to start with some of the comments from the CEO on the last conference call. He says that in 2021, we acquired Apostrophe, an Arizona-based 503A facility. This acquisition provided compounding capabilities and expertise that serve as a foundation for many of the personalized offerings that we have today. They're excited to announce the acquisition of 503B facility. That's the one that I'm talking about here. Over the long term, this acquisition will present additional opportunities across specialties such as hormone therapy and other treatments that require sterile compounded medications. This is going to play into GLP-1s. It says prior to signing this acquisition, we expanded the capabilities of our weight loss specialties and launched compounded GLP-1s across 21 states in the second quarter of the partnership through a 503B facility. Since then, they have expanded to more than 30 states. So this is going to play into the company's GLP-1 strategy, but it's much more than that. It's also hormone therapy and other products that they're going to bring to the product line. So again, if Hims & Hers is building a platform where you're connecting with customers and you want to be able to serve them with more and more products, not just hair loss products or GLP-1s or ED medications, you want to provide more and more services. This is the kind of thing that allows them to do that. The CFO goes on to say, as Andrew mentioned, we have entered into an agreement with FDA 503B facility. This sets us on a foundation to efficiently enter new specialties that require sterile, compounded injectable, or oral medications, while also providing optionality for increased efficiency and cost structure for compounded GLP-1s. Expanding the product line, doing that efficiently so that you're able to offer lower costs than competitors. This is fundamentally what Hims & Hers is doing. And this 503B facility allows them to expand that. So that's why I think this is a good move. They are issuing stock, so it is going to be somewhat dilutive, but hopefully that will be made up long term as the company is able to grow more at better margins because of having these capabilities in-house. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. At the end of the day, as much as there's talk about GLP-1s in particular in the market when it comes to Hims & Hers and how important that is to the company, GLP-1s are relatively new to Hims & Hers. So you look back at the company's growth trajectory, that doesn't include GLP-1s. That's just a fraction of revenue in the most recent quarter. Yes, it's potentially a growth avenue for the company, but there is going to be more and more products that Hims & Hers is going to be able to offer as it grows this platform, as it grows its user base. That is fundamentally what I am bullish on, not just specifically GLP-1s, but bringing these kinds of capabilities in-house. Now having a 503A and a 503B facility is going to allow them to have a lower cost structure than a lot of competitors, have stronger margins, have a more flexible, more personalized product base. And I think that's ultimately what's going to grow this platform long term. That's why I'm bullish on Hims & Hers. There's going to be ups and downs with both the stock and with operations. But if you look at what they're doing strategically, I think they're vertically integrating in the right places. They're attracting a huge customer base, and that's what's going to drive long-term returns. So take up the noise out of the company's operations, the discussion about the stock, and whether GLP-1s are under threat or whether they're not. Just look at the financials and look at the number of customers that are using the platform. I think that is enough to be bullish on the company, even if GLP-1s specifically are not the ultimate growth driver for Hims & Hers long term. I think this customization play and the potential to even bring branded products into the platform is going to be really good for Hims & Hers. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.